All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Michigan City Park Board meeting for December 15th. If you could please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Shannon, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Latchford?
Here.
Mr. Freeze?
Here.
Mr. Lang?
Here. The minutes from our December 1st meeting were prepared and presented prior to the meeting. Unless there are any changes or corrections, do we have a motion to approve?
I would move we accept the minutes as printed.
I'll second that.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
All right. Next is the Sheridan Beach Public Access Erosion Control Project final report.
Thank you. Included in your packet was a short report wrapping up the Sheridan Beach Public Access and Erosion Control Project. This project was for the blue beach mats that we put down in 2020. We intended to get the Marum grass planted shortly after that. However, the bids came in over our budget. We had to rebid and then wait until November, which is the ideal time to plant. So there's some photographs included in the report, and you can see a really big difference, especially on the lake side.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to report. I would like to close this grant out and submit the final report tomorrow. And if there's any questions the board has, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Shannon. Any questions or comments?
The only comment I was looking at this, Shannon did a beautiful job. Just a really nice job.
Yeah, great project. Great report. Great summary. And I think that's maybe the reason why we get so many grants. Is it's you've proven that you follow through and you document things well, and you've got a great track history for coming through. And you're welcome. Any questions or comments from the public? All right, seeing none, do we have a motion to approve the Sheridan Beach Public Access Erosion Control final report?
I so move that we accept the Sheridan Beach Public Access and Erosion Control Project final report.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Any old or table business we need to attend to?
No, sir.
All right, then new business. The first is approval of submission of the first draft of Michigan City Parks and Recreation 5-year master plan for the Indiana Department of Natural Resources.
Thank you. So the master plan was presented at your board meeting on November 3rd, and then again at your last meeting on December 1st. We left it open for public comment through yesterday. I received a few comments from the board, but nothing from the public as far as changing what's in the plan that was presented 2 weeks ago. So I would ask that you approve submission tonight, and just to remind the board, the plan gets submitted to the DNR for review. Typically, they'll review it and come back with several questions or comments. We have an opportunity to update the plan and resubmit all the way through April 15th. Usually their comments aren't too hard to answer, so we can get that in fairly quickly. Once the plan's approved, then we are eligible for DNR grants for the next 5 years.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the board?
My only comment, Shannon, is that I'm reading through what you had handed out last meeting, and that was, I believe, 49 pages. It is complete, it is detailed, and a work of art. And thank you for the work that you did on it. It's wonderful.
Thank you.
Any final comments from the public? Seeing none, do we have a motion to approve?
I would, first of all, like to thank Shannon for all the hard work that she put into this, but I'd like to approve the submission of the first draft of the Michigan City Park and Recreation 5-year master plan be submitted to the Indiana Department of Natural Resources.
I'll second your motion.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, now it's time to accept bids for the Zoo Big Cat House Exhibit Expansion Project. So is there anyone here tonight to submit a bid? All right, so we will close the submission period and move on to opening the bids that we have received. Shannon?
President Latchford, would you like me to open them? Is our attorney?
Please. Thank you.
Okay, the first bid is received from Larson Danielson, received at 4:53 p.m. today. Have submitted their EEO required documentation. And their base bid came in at $1,751,404 with 240 calendar days to complete and a start date of March 1st of 2022. Second bid is submitted by Holiday Construction Group LLC out of Portage, Indiana, received today at 4:49 p.m. Their base bid came in at $1,670,000 even, with 200 days to complete. And the final bid was received today from Garriott Construction out of Gary, Indiana at 4:24 p.m. today. Their base bid came in at $1,793,700 with 224 days to complete. And I would recommend the board hold these over for review with our engineers and architects to bring back a recommendation hopefully at your next meeting.
Thank you, Shannon. Any questions or comments from the board?
Shannon, we have a start date for the second two bids that you opened. They didn't offer one.
No, just days to complete.
Any questions or comments from the public? All right, so do we have a recommendation to hold the bids over to our next meeting on January 5th to allow the engineers and architects to review the bids and make a recommendation?
I so move that we hold over these bids until the next time the board meets, which will be on January the 5th of 2022. This gives the architects the time to look things over and make some decisions.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right. Item D is the Michigan City Event Coordinator 2022 event request.
Thank you. Included in your packet was a request from Terry Greitham, our special events coordinator. He's requesting dates to use Washington Park. Those are outlined. He's here tonight if you have any questions. Very quickly, I'll read the dates. Singing Sands, Sand Sculpting Festival, June 3rd, 4th, and 5th, with setup and cleanup dates prior and after. Venetian Night on June 25th, fireworks July 4th, and Michigan City Oktoberfest, September 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, again with setup and cleanup dates prior and after. And the Michigan City Festival of Lights celebration on December 3rd. These are all of 2022.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Terry Greitham, Director of Special Events for the City of Michigan City. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to talk to you a little bit tonight about the events that we're looking to hold in Washington Park in 2022. I did prepare a quick PowerPoint presentation only because some of these events are new. Some of these events are events that we've had in the past that we're trying to rebuild and reinvent. So if you'll let me go through this real quick, I'll try and keep it short. So there are 5 events that we're looking at holding in Washington Park in 2022. The Singing Sand Sand Sculpting Festival, Venetian Night, which is Michigan City Boat Parade, Michigan City Fireworks Spectacular, Michigan City Oktoberfest, and the Michigan City Festival of Lights Celebration. The first event I want to talk about is the Singing Sand Sand Sculpting Festival. This is brand new. This is something that's never been done here in Michigan City, at least at this level. And it's something that currently there are no other events like this on Lake Michigan. There's only one other event like this anywhere within, I believe it's 280 miles of us. So definitely a new event, something I'm extremely excited about. I've been working on a contract now for almost 3 months to try and pull this off. So just to kind of break it down, the Singing Sands Festival is a 3-day celebration of Michigan City's beautiful lakefront and beach, and will be held June 3rd, 4th, 5th of 2022 to kick off the summer. Centerpiece of the event will be a professional sand sculpting exhibition and competition, drawing some of the world's most talented and well-known sand sculptors who will create incredible works of art in the city's famous singing sands. Guests will enjoy the beauty and artistic wonder of these true artists using the magic sands of Michigan City's amazing Washington Park beach. These, of course, are some of the pictures from some of the sand festivals that this group that we're working with have produced around the country. Festival will include live music, which will feature well-known local, regional, and hopefully national acts. Music will be featured through the entire event, both day and night. Obviously, you can't have a good festival without good food. So local and regional food vendors will be on hand to satisfy all our cravings, and of course, plenty of options to quench our thirst. Art, craft, and merchandise vendors will give guests a wide variety of options to browse and shop for that unique treasure to remember this amazing event. Now, the fun does not stop when the sun sets, as these artists will actually light up their sand sculptures at night. Between that and the music and the celebration going on, the party will go well into the evening. So it should be a great event both day and night. This is just a quick breakdown, layout of the way I believe that the festival will work. It'll utilize the area around North Point Pavilion. The sand portion of the festival will be held in the sand just north of North Point, basically in the area where the volleyball courts are. This setup that we have is expandable, or we can make it smaller if we need to. But based on the feedback that I'm getting from our soon-to-be partners, the Sand Lovers, they feel that they're not going to have any problem at all having a lot of great artists come to this event. I have also spoken with Julie from Sunset Grill. She's aware that we're looking to do this event and is very excited to be a part of it as well. The partnership. Now, for us to try and put an event on like this ourselves just wouldn't go very well. I could get a few small artists here, but to draw some of these large name artists, I did a lot of research, and the #1 company in the country, and actually they've traveled internationally, is the Sand Lovers. Bill and Marianne Knight, they own the Sand Lovers. And I'm not going to read through this whole thing, but just a couple of quick notes on them. Both Bill and Marianne are professional sand sculptors and have been for over 20 years. They've managed 22 major sand sculpting events, including the World Championships of Sand Sculpting on Fort Myers Beach. Bill has over 25 years of corporate experience, and Marianne has over 20 years of corporate experience. And from 2012 to 2018, they've managed the largest sand sculpting festival in the state of Florida. So obviously they are very good at what they do, and we're looking forward to the partnership with them. The contract binding that partnership goes before the Board of Works on Monday, and I'm expecting that it will be approved. These are just some of the events, the major events that they've produced. The one closest to us is the Blue Water Sand Fest that's held in Port Huron, Michigan. It's held in August, so it does not conflict with us. And again, as I said, it's about 280 miles from here. And Bill has a strong belief that we'll draw a lot of the people that go to that festival will also come over to Michigan City to see this festival. Now, in order to put this on, it's going to be an extremely expensive event to put on. So we're going to need to go after corporate sponsorships. Though the city has established a special event budget to produce this type of event, we will solicit local, regional, and potentially national financial support through a tiered sponsorship program designed to provide maximum return on investment for partners and develop long-standing relationships. Now, the goal of this event and all the events that we produce here in Michigan City will be that they will be able to sustain themselves. This event, we're hoping that it will be able to sustain itself on the revenue generated from sponsorships, ticket sales, and vendor fees. So just to recap, the Singing Sands Festival will showcase Michigan City's beautiful lakefront, including Washington Park, and its hometown charm filled with free-spirited and diverse people by embracing this bold yet delicate form of artistic expression, which celebrates our welcoming community and dynamic and eclectic. Now, the second event that I'd like to bring up is our Venetian Night, Michigan City Boat Parade. We want to hold that on June 25th. Venetian Night, Michigan City's own In the Water Boat Parade, will be a night celebrating our beautiful harbor and the boats that fill our marina. Boat owners can participate by covering their boats with lights, decorations, and dress in costume in tune with a specific theme that can possibly change every year. Some of the themes that we've looked at and that have been successful in other areas are the Red, White, and Blue Cruise, which is obviously a patriotic theme, the Haunted Harbor, which is obviously a Halloween theme, Christmas in June, and then one of the others is you all are aware of Pirates of the Caribbean, and we'd like to look at doing Pirates of Lake Michigan. So definitely a fun festival. I've gotten a lot of support from boat owners. I spent quite a few days walking on the docks, talking to boat owners, and it sounds like they're really excited to bring this back. Certainly we'll be working with the Port Authority as well as the Coast Guard and the DNR to make sure that we make this a safe event. Real quick, a site map. The idea would be the boats would come out of the marina and they would head south, down around towards the bridge and then loop around, come back out, weather permitting, obviously. They can go out to the lighthouse and then turn back. Any of the boats that are moored in Trail Creek will form a staging area, so they'll be able to participate as well. The blue areas you see, which along the pier near the lighthouse, and then the area around Fish Camp, Coast Guard Station, back to Millennium Plaza will be viewing areas where people can actually watch the parade. And then the idea will be have a festival, including music, food, over in the area of Millennium Plaza. I've had some good conversations with Victor Thierry from Harbor Country, and he's excited about this event and wants to participate with us. The next event is one that we don't have to spend a lot of time on, but I did want to bring a couple issues up. The Michigan City Fireworks Spectacular, held on July 4th, obviously down in Washington Park. As I spoke with Mr. Latchford, we've run into a little bit of an issue with the Army Corps of Engineers. We had a 5-year lease to be able to utilize the pier for launching the fireworks. That 5-year lease cost the city $400. I was informed that our lease is up and that the new fee is $4,000, which is a 900% increase. I've spoken to the Army Corps of Engineers, and they've given me some ideas on ways that we can possibly try to work this down. I need to speak with Ed and Tim Frame and look at some of the improvements that we've made to the pier, whether it be the life rings, any kind of painting, the lights, anything that we've done to enhance the pier, we could possibly utilize as some leverage to get that brought down. The other thing we're looking at is possibly an alternate launch site. Where that is yet, I don't know, whether it be the beach, over on the NIPSCO side, a barge. I'm exploring that. But we know we're going to have the fireworks. We've also been informed by Melrose Pyrotechnics that the The cost of the fireworks is going up 10%, and that's due to the costs of getting the actual fireworks over here from China. So that's the fireworks. And then Michigan City Oktoberfest on Labor Day weekend. One of Michigan City's most well-known and long-standing traditions is back, celebrating Labor Day weekend with the event that is the single most requested event by Michigan City residents currently. Oktoberfest will feature multiple live music stages, local and regional food vendors, and art, craft, and merchandise vendors from all over, using the foundations laid in the past to build a new, bigger, and better event. So yes, that's the number one question I've been asked since I got this position. Are you bringing Oktoberfest back? And as long as you're willing to approve it, then yes, we will bring Oktoberfest back. And then the final event is Michigan City Festival of Lights celebration on December 3rd. Complementing the amazing Festival of Lights presented by the Michigan City Parks and Recreation Department, which I believe, Mr. Freeze, I heard you say, without a doubt, they did just a spectacular job this year. It's one of the most beautiful displays I've seen in years. But complementing that, we will build on the success from this year's event, which includes raising over $750 for Meals on Wheels and collecting over 120 Toys for Tots. This holiday tradition will follow the holiday parade, which was formerly known as the Snowflake Parade. Fire department has informed me that they would like to turn that over to me next year, so I decided to change the name. It'll actually be called the Festival of Lights Parade. And then the Christmas tree lighting, which will obviously bring the season in style. So the event down at the Senior Center, we're going to change up a little bit. We're going to go to a more family-oriented event. We tried to have horse-drawn carriages this last year, but ran into a few issues, but we're going to fix that for next year. Some more carolers, have Santa down there, some more characters, and really make it a nice family event while still raising money for raising money for Meals on Wheels and bringing in more toys for the kids. The chili cook-off was a huge success, so we're going to stay with that. So basically, just to recap, again, you've got the dates in front of you, the 5 events we're going to bring. I'm really excited about these events, chance to show off all the beautiful things that you all have done in Washington Park and start bringing people back and letting them remember what it was like to have a great time down at the lakefront. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Terry. Questions, comments?
I just have a couple of questions. How large can these sand sculptures get? I'm just curious. Is it something that's 9-10 feet, something like?
Easily. One of the sculptures, they have what they call a sponsor pile. So once I go out and solicit every single business in Michigan City to try and get sponsors, they will actually build a pile and do a display of all the sponsors. So for an example, if Blue Chip wanted to become a title sponsor of the event, they could actually recreate the Blue Chip Tower with their logos and everything. So I believe one of the numbers I heard was 40 tons of sand to build a sponsor pile. I've talked with Pat Volz, with the park department maintenance, and we've talked about, do we feel like we're able to move enough sand to make this happen, and he was confident that we would be able to do that.
How do you hold all of this together? I remember when I was young and sculpting, putting sand in a bucket, turning it upside down, pulling it out, voila, there's something, and as soon as it dried, it just fell apart. So I've always been curious, with something that size, is there a mixture that goes in?
And I don't have the exact details of what that is, but I do know that everything is absolutely environmentally safe.
I would assume
But
that.
I've heard different things of sugar water and some other things that they use to make that stick. But I'm just the guy that wants to throw the party. I don't have to build one myself, so I don't. But we've already talked. Like I said, I've worked with Pat Bolts from the park department because it does require a great amount of water and water spigots. So we've already talked about what we can utilize to make it happen. I also had to send a box of 2 pounds of sand to Bill Knight from the Sand Lovers so that he could analyze our sand and see just how well the artist can work with it. And he said it's probably some of the best sand they'd ever have a chance to work with.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so very excited. He's very excited to get this contract done so we can start working on it.
Fantastic.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Certainly.
Yes, I was just wondering, what are some thoughts of trying to generate some income from these? I mean, is there an admission price? I mean, are we going to get a cut of the concessions? Like, I'm just trying to think. This sounds like an expensive event, and it would be nice for us to have, like, you know, money for you for your next event. So, what do you?
Yeah, for sure. As I said, we'll be looking for corporate sponsors, and not just here in Michigan City. I'll be looking all over LaPorte County, state of Indiana, and I'll go nationally if I have to. In addition, there will be, for the Singing Sands Festival, there will be a ticketed price. It will not be a free festival. As much as we like to make things free for everybody to come and join, this is one of those activities that there will be an admission fee. So ticket sales, sponsorships, we will come up with a program for our vendors to rent space, basically. There'll be vendor fees. But one thing I do want to stress, and I've got to sit with the right people and work this out, but I want to make sure that Michigan City residents always get a discounted ticket in comparison to somebody that's coming from out of state. So if the ticket price is $10 for somebody to get in, perhaps for Michigan City residents, it may be $7 or $6, whatever we figure out is the right number. There'll be weekend passes. So yes, there'll be a lot of opportunity to draw revenue for this sand festival. With the Oktoberfest is one that is very difficult to talk about charging a fee for, because that's one that I think should be open to the public, but we'll work as far as whether it's a portion of the concessions. We'll figure out a way to be able to try and recap that money. But I really believe that this sand festival has the opportunity not only to pay for itself, but to put more money back into the special event fund. One of the first festivals Bill did, he said they had over 20,000 people the first year. And by the third year, they were up in the 90,000 range. So I see this as an opportunity similar to the boat, to the Great Lakes Grand Prix, only our event as opposed to the Convention Bureau, and an event that we're able to charge admission to.
I think that's a great event, and it's surprising no one else thought of it first. So I'm glad we did it. So thank you.
Well done. Thank you, Terry. Great. Any other questions from the public? All right. Is there any other?
Just a comment,
Sure.
Terry put a lot of work into this. This is awesome.
Unless there are any other comments or questions, do we have a motion to approve the Michigan City Event Coordinator 2022 event request?
I don't know if I'm allowed to because I came in late, but I would so move that we make that we approve the Michigan City Event Coordinator 2022 event request.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, now we will move on to the renewal of the Patriot Park concession lease with Bubbles Ice Cream Parlor.
So included in your packet were some meeting notes. Ed and I met via Zoom with Kim Martin, the owner of Bubbles. It outlined some challenges that she had this year. Some of the comments, one that I'm proud of, that they offered healthy food items at a sports complex.
Yeah. When's the last time you saw that?
But she really had a good selection, and she said they went well, like frozen grapes, watermelon
Yeah,
slices, and I'm like, this is wonderful news. So
Yes.
I was happy to hear that. We talked about a couple of things that might be helpful next year, better communication with NSA BPA as far as date cancellations and giving her more notice to order stock or cancel stock orders. She asked for some picnic tables to provide for her customers. Currently, they kind of stand around and mingle and eat. She requested that we keep the same rent for 2022. It wasn't a real profitable year for her, as I think she was only able to work like 43% of the days that were available because tournaments were canceled. And we talked about, on a trial basis, offering golf cart service to the fields, taking the food to the customers. So overall, she was happy with her experience out there. She's a little worried about what's going to happen next year still. You know, coming off of COVID, she didn't know what to expect. So I would recommend that to to be able to provide a service at Patriot Park, that we extend that lower rent for the year of 2022 and then reanalyze at the end of the season.
Thank you, Shannon. Any questions or comments from the board?
Just a comment. I completely agree with what Shannon said. To be able to offer concessions at Patriot Park is, I think, very important. And to be able to offer concessions like this, which we haven't been able to, I think that affords allowing this to continue another year. I'd be happy to make that motion, but want others to have the chance to comment.
I would echo your comments, in addition to kudos to meeting with them prior to the presentation tonight to go over the challenges and comments. And I think that just shows a partnership and how we can make it for a better experience at Patriot Park. So thanks for doing that. And I assume you're confident in all these other challenges that we can at least provide some sort of solution to attempt to overcome them.
Yes.
Thank you. Any other comments? Any comments from the public? Yes, sir. Please just state your name and address for the record, and welcome.
Thank you. Michael Vinson, 2402 Greenwood Ave. Just like to know, is this an exclusive lease as far as food service at the park?
It is.
A la food truck, if a food truck wanted to come in, they're not allowed now.
Correct. So you would have to, someone would have to make an arrangement with Bubbles to allow for that.
Okay, and I just hesitate as a public, if there's something large going on out there, or is she being exclusive? I mean, it's almost like if you make something exclusive to one person, leasing a block building, as far as all the parking lot for other food vendors to come in, it's almost taking that out of the city hand or the park's hands, right? So the exclusivity of the lease to include the entire Patriot Park just seems to be a little unfair to someone that might want to come in for special weekends, tournaments, things that otherwise would happen.
That's one way to look at it. You could also look at it that she's there peak times and non-peak times offering service to everyone. And why should someone be able to come in and cherry pick the good times? And she's sometimes opening at a loss just to provide the service.
And that's what businesses do, right? Burger King, McDonald's do it all the time. It's a competitive thing. If
it was a competitive, in that situation, we wouldn't have the people would only want to be there on the big weekends. We wouldn't have anyone offering service throughout the week.
And is there anyone else that was approached or anyone else interested in pulling a lease from
So
here?
what we did is we bid through newspaper articles or newspaper advertising. We submitted, we asked for proposals, we received them, and we picked what we felt were the best vendor. We signed a 3-year lease with annual options to renew that lease.
Okay.
So it's a transparent public process.
Okay. And just one quick comment, and I've been to other meetings and hear the same thing about we advertise through the newspaper. The subscription for the newspaper is really going down. So for that to be a public notice anymore, I think we got to think of something different to public notices other than putting it in a print to a newspaper that is slowly losing customers.
Good point, Mr. Vincent. I do believe we also put it on our website. I said newspaper, but there are other avenues that we also publish it. And we're required by the newspaper.
Address that?
Sure, please.
In this particular instance, we also sent via mail targeted requests for proposals to, I believe it was 12 to 14 different food establishments in Michigan City.
Okay.
Because we really wanted a high quality vendor. And I think we bid this out twice. I don't think we got any the first round. So we really targeted via mail trying to
Okay.
solicit.
And if they have a history, I mean, they were there last year, you complimented them on their service. So I just wanted to make sure that we were aware of maybe some potential dissatisfaction of other permits. People wanted to come in, share their wares or anything else.
So Bubbles also has the option, and they're very aware of this under their lease. If there was a huge tournament coming in and they can't handle that type of business, they can bring in food trucks under an agreement with them for 10% of sales or something that would benefit Bubbles, but also be able to service the park.
And what is our lease? I mean, is it Mrs. We spoke about sharing concessions with the Oktoberfest, things like that. I mean, is this beneficial to the park department, and will we see something coming from the concessions?
As far as lease payments?
Well, I don't know. It doesn't say how much the lease was. So, I mean, is it $50 a year and then she keeps all the profits, or is it?
Yeah, so it gets bid out. In the past, I believe the vendor was paying about $1,600 a month. And then we had no one that bid on it. And then COVID hit, no one wanted to bid on it.
Mhm.
So she put in a bid for, I believe it's $400 per month, which is low. But to be able to provide a service out there, we took it. It was either that or we had no concessions to service Patriot Park.
And just historically, I've been out at Patriot Park for decades with no service. And I don't know, you kind of deal with it. But this is a yearly lease?
Just for a year.
So, okay.
Renewable annually. It's
So
renewable.
last year, I understand last year was a funny year for everybody, right? So next year we'll revisit and the same thing. All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Vincent. Any other public comment? Seeing none, unless there are any other comments or questions, do we have a motion to renew the Patriot Park concession lease?
I would move that we renew the Patriot Park concessions lease with Bubbles Ice Cream Parlor.
I would second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, we have another renewal, and that's for Hatfield Pest Control Agreement.
Okay, so the next three agreements, Hatfield Pest Control, Republic Services is for trash disposal and removal, and Service Sanitation is our porta pots. These are all second-year renewals out of 3-year contracts that were signed for 2021. We are satisfied with the service of all 3 of those and would recommend approving their second-year contracts.
Thank you, Shannon. Unless there's an objection, we take these all together, all 3? One vote? No objection? Okay. Any questions or comments from the board in regard to the recommendation? Any questions from the public? Yes, sir. Welcome again.
Michael Vincent, 2402 Greenwood Ave. I spoke to Mr. Shen probably, 6 months ago, maybe by then, but my family and I, we spend time at the park, and we have a little one just potty trained, and you know how it is. You're a grandparent, you're careful with your children, and you want them in nice, clean facilities when they have to go. We have yet to find a nice, clean facility at the parks. Some of those are some of the outhouses that they place around. The ones that aren't tipped over are not clean. And Mr. Shen, we used one that was absolutely filthy, and the person that cleaned it signed off on it that same day. So the concerns I had with Mr. Shen is, are they just going through and signing off, not cleaning? Is Service Station the ones we used last year?
They are.
As far as me, public, and a user of these, they should be fired and somebody else brought in, not extend them another 3 years or another year or whatever we're trying to vote on. There's really, somebody has to speak to the consistency that they're clean.
I'm sorry.
and they're not being done.
I'm sorry that you had an unfortunate experience or two with the porta potties.
Well, every time. And it's not just me. I guess I might be the only one to raise my hand and say that I'm not satisfied, but who do you call when you're not satisfied?
You call the park department.
On Sundays?
Sure.
All right.
We have
will
maintenance staff servicing the park every day.
we hire service station, right?
We do, but we also have maintenance staff every day in the park working.
Okay, I'm not going to continue on. I'll just say, as a user, I am very dissatisfied with the company you used last year. So thank you.
I'm sorry to hear that.
That's all right.
Was this at Patriot Park or Washington Park?
This has been on Fetters Alley. This has been by the senior center. The worst I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of them, the worst I've ever seen is at Millennium downstairs. Seemed damaged. There's a vending machine down there. It's damaged, tipped over.
Yeah.
The service station restrooms, all but unusable. So yeah, it's parks right downtown.
Sure. Our goal
Or right here in our visiting area.
we want to provide clean restrooms.
Absolutely. I want those as well because
Sure.
I'm a citizen. I'll be here and I'll use them over and over again. I'm
So
here
do
looking
I.
at. But if I'm from out of town, I'm going back and I'm telling my friends, you wouldn't believe what I just saw. So, and it's not the board. It's not anybody at the park department. We hire people to do a job. They should do it
Absolutely.
and not be rewarded for not doing it
Absolutely.
just because they did it last year.
Were there any problems at Gardena? You know,
I don't remember using it, Gardena.
Okay,
That's
okay.
close to home.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I don't remember Gardena.
but yeah, we share your concern, and there's no reason to not do something about that.
Okay. All right.
Michael, I just want to say that I too have observed times where the service sanitation has come out and cleaned porta potties, left the site, and had a phone call directly after. So sometimes these things happen directly after the cleaning, but I have had service sanitation come out and make an extra trip, and they have cleaned them for me directly after the problem. So
Okay.
you see it sometimes right after the problem and before it's been cleaned, and we'll make an attempt to keep them cleaner.
Okay. Yeah, and not to be disgusting, but I'll take pictures next time just so you can see when we make contact.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So if I heard you right, Ed, that this is not a isolated incident, but we're still recommending them for contract renewal.
Service sanitation came in last year to replace Johnson & Johnson, and I see no difference. I see that when I call them, they do come out on special occasions, and I see no difference between the two.
Okay. I also understand our utilization at the park is at an all-time high, but that just means we have to expect more and demand more from the Johnson service sanitation.
Excuse me, can I make a comment?
Please.
Would it be conducive to put a sticker on the device that says, if this is not in good order, please call? And maybe, I don't want to flood you guys with calls in the park department, but maybe you could put a little message on the porta potty saying that if this is in poor condition, please call this number.
Sure. Do they charge extra for extra cleanings?
Johnson & Johnson did not, service sanitation does.
No, that's not true. Johnson & Johnson did charge for extra cleanings. The way that our request for proposals goes out is There's set locations for set dates throughout the year and a set cleaning schedule. So Washington Park, it may be cleaned once a day, Monday through Friday, but on weekends, it's 3 times a day. With the influx of people we've had in Washington Park, you almost need someone standing there. You need restroom attendants. That's the issue. However, that's not budgeted for us to go beyond that, those 3 cleanings, unless it's a special event, then it go up to 6 cleanings a day. But that's what's happening now is, 5 years ago, 3 cleanings was sufficient for the crowd. Well, the crowd's quadrupled, but our budget hasn't.
So, I think it's vital to provide clean restrooms. And if we're acknowledging that the capacity has grown and the service needs to grow with it, I think it's imperative that we find the funding to do that. So whether it's tabling this tonight and seeing if we can find some funding from somewhere, calculating the amount and then determine if we can fund it. But to renew it and go through and have people experience, unsanitary conditions is probably not being responsible. That's just my opinion. But I would feel uncomfortable renewing this at the same terms and conditions after hearing what I've heard just now.
I agree.
So I guess let's just handle these individually. We'll take Hatfield Pest Control first.
Has there been any problems with the pest control with roaches or whatever?
I have not heard any problems for any departments.
What do they do? Memorial Park,
They do the
Senior
zoo,
Center,
the zoo and the golf course.
Zoo.
Also.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? Questions from the public? We have a motion to renew the Hatfield Pest Control Agreement.
I would move that we renew Hatfield Pest Control for the time listed on the agreement letter.
I would second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, next up is the Republic Services Agreement. Still a recommendation from the superintendent is to renew. Any other concerns that we'd be aware of? All right.
Mr. Latchford, I've spent some time down there at the beach watching competition in volleyball. I agree with Shannon. We'd almost need to have somebody at each barrel full time. I mean, I've seen people who, for lack of a better term, slobs. If the garbage can is there and I can't throw it in there, then too bad, it's on the sand.
Yeah.
So and I'm not criticizing Republic Services by any means, but that's almost on weekends an impossible job. So I mean, if Mr. Shin is satisfied with their service, I feel sorry for them. I don't know how in the world they can keep up. I mean, go down there and sit there for a few hours and just watch people.
Is it Republic who dropped the big dumpster near the senior center? We utilize that internally to fill and wait for them to move it out. That's their responsibility. What else besides the large container?
I want to say the containers at Patriot Park as well. Is that correct, Shannon?
Maintenance shop.
At the maintenance shop and North Point Pavilion and Patriot Park. I've not heard any complaints about that.
So we solved the capacity issue by dropping the dumpster in the park.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And no other capacity issues in those other locations?
No, I think the big problem is what Phil said, is that people tend to not use the garbage cans, and that puts a burden on the maintenance department that they stay up with it as the best they can.
Sure, understood, but that's not necessarily a Republic Service responsibility.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments? So what I'm hearing is Republic Service, the amount of their frequency and cadence of service is appropriate.
Yes.
Thank you. No other questions or comments from the board or public? Do we have a motion to approve?
I would move that we rehire Republic Services with the explanation that is in the letter here.
I would second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, back to service sanitation. I would recommend tabling this so that we can determine the additional cost to increase the cadence and frequency of service to match the capacity, increased capacity in Washington Park. And then to bring it back, once we determine that, we'll have to find funding and then bring it back to the park board for analysis and approval at our next meeting. Sir?
Mr. Latchford, may I ask a question to Michael Vincent? Mr. Vincent? Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Since we have changed from Johnson & Johnson in 2020 to service sanitation in 2021, and you seem to frequent Washington Park, have you seen a difference in those two companies?
The worst I've seen was this summer.
So the worst you
So that was service, right? The
Service
one we're
sanitation,
discussing.
correct. I just wanted to know
Yeah.
briefly if you saw a difference between those 2 years.
No, frankly, I have not noticed a difference. I thought it was the same one. You know,
Okay,
when I spoke to you about it, it was late summer.
sure.
I've turned to my wife. I think we were down there Labor Day.
Okay.
And that's why I thought, here it is, a holiday weekend, you know, droves of people. And this particular one that is in my memory was not due to overuse. It was skipped because there was garbage on the floor. There was old beverage containers laying around. And if it's overuse, you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
Overuse as to just being neglected or passed by. This was neglected, passed by. Was not an overusage. Maybe the ones down by the water, those units, those are busy. The one down by the water, those are busy, and maybe that's an overusage. And to Mr. Freeze, yeah, there's some people, they don't take very good care of public items.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some nastiness going on there, and that's due to public. But that's why they have to be more diligent when they come by and service the stations, right? It's their name, service station.
Thank
All
you.
right, do we have any other questions or comments? What's the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Latchford, I agree with you. I'd like to move that we table this until additional cost can either be estimated or gathered and look for funding, whenever that date might be.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, next up is the Michigan City Zoological Society 2022 event requests.
So included in your packet was the event request from the society that was turned in by our zoo director, Jamie Huss. I expected her to be here today. We have ran the dates by Terry Greitham to make sure there's no conflicts. There are none at this time. Just would like to mention that July 10th is the zoo run, the annual zoo run. That's also the Hobie Cat Fleet Regatta that day, but it's the small one, 10 to 12 boats. So we had no conflicts with that this year. So it's the zoo director's recommendation that these get approved tonight. And again, there's no conflicts from our.
Thank you.
Sure.
Any questions or comments from the board?
Only one comment on the brew at the zoo, and this is just a typo. It says on mine that this is going to be on June the 10th of 2021. Just a matter of correcting a typo.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments about the zoo events? Any questions or comments from the public? Seeing none, do we have a motion to approve?
I so move that we approve the Michigan City Zoological Society 2022 event request.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, item J is the employee policy manual, holidays.
Actually, item J and K are changes to the city's policy and procedure manual. These have already been approved by the Board of Works. They were approved on December 6th, and Personnel Office has asked us to present them to the board for your approval, for addition to our park manual to try to stay consistent with the city.
Thank you, Shannon.
First one just addresses a change in holiday list, adding Juneteenth.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the board? Any questions or comments from the public? Seeing none, do we have a motion to approve the employee manual change for holidays?
I would move we accept and pass the employment policy change.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, the other item is the COVID specific protocols. Any questions or comments? Shannon, I just had one. I didn't say anything about pay when someone gets sick with COVID addressed in here.
So
How is that handled?
currently under this policy, the employee would have to use their own paid time off. And if they don't have sufficient paid time off, then they're not paid, and that's for the entire quarantine period.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Questions or comments from the public? Motion from the board to approve the employee manual changes to the COVID 149 specific protocol.
I would so move that we approve the employee policy manual COVID-19 specific protocol, policy.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, next up is the approval of construction agreement with Green Leaf Tree Service for tree work at the golf course.
Yes, Mr. Latchford, I would like to ask the board to table this. I think that I can be of more assistance and be more clear about the project. And I would like to know if you will table this until next meeting. It will not have any impact on the property at this time.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Not to have a motion to table.
I would so move that we table the approval of the construction agreement with Greenleaf Tree Service for tree work at the golf course.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, we do have next our resolutions. 1, 2, 3. It's like 5 resolutions. Resolutions number 954 through 958. These typically happen at year end. It's moving money from one line item to another line item. There's no increase or decrease in funding. And if there are no objections, I'll read the preamble to the first one, and then just on the following ones, I'll just read the dollar amounts being moved. All right, so a resolution number 954, whereas the superintendent of the Parks Department and Recreation has reported that certain transfer funds are necessary within the budget of the Michigan City Parks Department and Recreation because of unanticipated expenses from various accounts, which accounts do not have sufficient funds available for disbursement for said expenses, and whereas funds for said expenses in various other accounts which are available not expected to be paid from said accounts during the remainder of the budget year, and whereas Michigan City Park and Recreation Board has determined that said expenses are necessary and that account transfer should be made in order to meet said expenses. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the following transfer be made from the following named accounts to the following named accounts for the purposes stated herein. Decrease fund 2062-000 golf fund seasonal salaries, 1,577. Increase fund 2062-000 golf fund phone 500, fees and charges 837, water 240. Do you have a motion to approve?
I would move we approve resolution number 954.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 955, decrease fund 2056-506 senior center fund seasonal salaries $812, increase fund 2056-506 senior center contractual $812. Do you have a motion to approve?
I would move we accept resolution number 955.
I would second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 956, decrease fund 2011-000 rec non-reverting fund contractual $83, increase fund 2011-000 rec non-reverting fund fees and charges $83. Do you have a motion to approve?
I would move we accept resolution number 956.
I would second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, resolution number 957, decrease fund 2056-502 admin fund contractual $99, increase fund 2056-502 admin fund fees and charges $99. Do you have a motion to approve?
I would move we accept resolution number 957.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And finally, resolution number 958, the last one. Decrease fund 2056-504 zoo fund, zoo food $8,000, contractual $4,008. Increase fund 2056-504 zoo fund, electric $726, fees and charges $9,077, and INPRS $2,205. What is INPRS?
It's all right, insurance.
Thank you. Have a motion to approve resolution number 958?
I would move we accept resolution number 958.
I would second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Any other resolutions or new business?
No, sir.
Thank you. Move right along then to report of officers, the superintendent's report. Mr. Shin.
Thank you, Mr.
You're
Latchford.
welcome.
This evening, I would like to report on Westcott Park, youth sports at the YMCA, the maintenance department, and the Esplanade. Westcott Park, a park under the jurisdiction of the BOW, but maintained by the park department in a limited fashion, will be adding a new art exhibit in the near future. Work has begun to construct the footings and piers to support this display. The sculpture is dedicated to Naomi Anderson, an American suffragist, temperance leader, civil rights activist, and writer who advocated for civil rights for all genders and races in the 1870s. So this is going to be a very nice art exhibit, and if people are driving by and wondering why they're digging holes in the ground, they see the footings for the new art display, and I think it's going to be a very nice addition to that park. The YMCA at the Michigan City Elston branch, they will teach your children how to be the best they can be through a variety of sports. The following are being offered this winter at the Michigan City Elston branch. The following are being offered this winter. Wednesdays, youth co-ed volleyball. Thursdays, youth co-ed basketball. Mondays, Wednesdays, or Saturdays would be swim lessons, which I strongly suggest people should have their kids in swimming lessons to prepare them for any swimming they might do in Lake Michigan, as we know. Pre-registration is required. Contact the Y for full pricing at 219-221-4055. The maintenance department. We are now in red, as everybody knows, in LaPorte County. The maintenance department is now suffering with 2 people with COVID. They are doing okay. They're not violently ill, but we're taking steps to be compliant. I would like everybody to know that Pat Volz receives many compliments. The whole park department receives compliments, and the events planner, Terry Greitham, for a spectacular December 4th parade. The ceremony of the official tree and holiday display lighting by Mayor Perry, and the excellent light display at Washington Park. People stop and ask me to thank the guys the guys that are responsible for such a beautiful display, and I tell them to thank the ladies too. And I will read off the names of these people because I think they deserve some recognition. This is one of the nicest features in Michigan City that I know of, gets the most compliments. The order in which I name these people will not have anything to do with their ability to work out in the field. Under the direction of Pat Volz, these displays are built and put away at the end of the season and stored. So we have Martin Reback. We have the young lady at the top of the bucket, Sandy Kalinowski, Keith Ruckert and Bill Moyson, Rick Missick, Carl Weinig, Chris Kaufman, Richard Warner, Darren Stokes, and the ladies that do the janitorial work to keep these men working in clean conditions. Eva Butler and Cindy Jacobs, who Cindy manages the custodials. And Marcia Sanders, who does all of the flower work and exterior landscaping. And these people do a great job. I just want you to know these are the people that gave you those holiday lights. And if Caleb would turn on the TV there for the picture of the Esplanade, I just want to say quickly that Miss Eason didn't only facilitate the grants and manage the work to have this planting of the Miram grass. Miss Eason also thought to put up signs to make sure that people do not walk on these young plants, and I think she did a great job, and that's going to be a nice addition to those paths that are made for walking. Thank you. That concludes my report for the night.
Thank you, Mr. Shin. Any questions or comments?
I just have one comment, and that deals with the Festival of Lights down at Washington Park. If anyone here or anyone who is watching tonight has not gone through there, they will be pleasantly surprised. The amount of work that was done, particularly in putting lights on some of the taller trees, which in the past has not been done, but these trees have been decorated with lights all the way to the very top. It's an absolute pleasure to go down there and see that. I've seen some comments on Facebook that have said, oh, go over to LaPorte. LaPorte has some awesome decorations also. And I would just like to say, if you go over to LaPorte, you're going to pay $20 to see those. And if you come through Washington Park, you're going to pay $0. And my hat is off to the people. You had just mentioned their names. They did an awesome job, and it looks great. Just thank you to all of those people.
Thank you, Mr. Lang. Any other comments or questions? Any evangelism to report? Good news. All right, we'll move on to the liaison reports, beginning with Ms. Esper on the Planning Commission.
Thank you, Mr. Latchford. The Planning Commission has not met since our last meeting. However, we are scheduled to meet on Tuesday, December 28th at 6 p.m., and that will be right here in this room.
Thank you. Port Authority, Mr. Fries.
Yes, there was a meeting this Monday. I didn't go to that, but I went to the one before that where they had election of officers. Socrates Gray will be the new president.
Thank you. And the Zoological Society, Mr. Lang.
The Zoological Society did not meet in December. Their next meeting will be the second Tuesday in January.
Thank you. Hello, Ms. Nuremberg. Any attorney's report tonight?
Thank you, Mr. Latchford. No, I have nothing to report.
Thank you. Any director's reports?
No, sir.
Thank you. Department Finances, Mr. Lang.
All right, Michigan City Park Department claims docket for December the 15th, 2021 Municipal, $98,070.67. Golf petty cash, none. Zoo endowment, $500, bringing the claims docket for December the 15th, 2021 to $98,570.67. I so move that we meet this claims docket for December 15th, 2021.
I would second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Payroll number 25 with a pay date of December the 3rd, 2021. A total payroll of $43,864.26. I so move that we meet payroll number 25 for 2021.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next, under gifts and donations, Washington Park Zoological Society, zoological donation, big cat exhibit, $136,802.65. The Unity Foundation of LaPorte County, miscellaneous zoo donation, $500. Springfield Park District zoo donation, sale of wallabies, $6,200. I so move that we recognize the gifts and donations.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Under minor transfers, Administration Fund 2056.502, a decrease in account number 411.014, seasonal salaries $1,861, an increase in account number 413.003, INPRS of the same, $1,861. Maintenance Fund 2056.505, a decrease in account number 411.014, seasonal salaries of $810, an increase in account number 413.003, again, INPRS, the same amount, $810. Recreation Fund 2056.503, a decrease in account number 422.037, clothing, $112, an increase in account number 423.031, small tools, again, the same amount, $112. Zoological Fund 2056.504, a decrease in account number 436.010, building repairs, $250, an increase in account number 436.020, equipment repairs, also the same amount, $250. And last, under the minor transfers, Golf Fund 2062.000, a decrease in account number 436.020, repairs of equipment, $1,000, increase in account number 435.010, electric, $1,000. I so move that we okay the minor transfers as indicated this evening.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Under zoo endowment, invoices totaling $500 were paid to Green Leaves Tree Service for a tree removal, $500. I so move that we okay the zoo endowment for $500 to Green Leaves Tree Service.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Under Board of Works, none at this time. Under credit card charges, charges totaling $602.30 were paid to Amazon.com laptop for the zoo, $417.58. SmartSign.com parking signs, $112.25. Amazon.com chair mat administrative, $32.48. Amazon.com chair mat administration, $39.99. Again, this brings credit card charges totaling $602.30, and I so move that we okay these credit card charges.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And that ends the financial report.
Thank you, Mr. Ryan. Any comments from the public before we close tonight? Seeing none, any comments from the board?
I'd just like to say and mention once again, as I did before the meeting started, anyone who hasn't had an opportunity to go through the park and see this tremendous light display that our maintenance department has put together. I've been here many years and seen many festival lights, and this is probably, I know my memory's fading, but it's probably the best one I've seen in years. So congratulations, and if you miss it, it's really a shame. And then I'd like to wish everybody happy holidays, and I look forward to seeing everybody back here in 2020. So have a great New Year.
Please. When are the last nights for the lights? January 9th. Thank you. I would echo Mr. Freese's comments in regard to happy holidays and Merry Christmas. Looking forward to a 2022 prosperous one and a safe one. If there are no other questions or comments, our next meeting will be Wednesday, January 5th at 5 p.m. right here. We have a motion to adjourn.
So move.